Welcome! And today we'll dive into two separate confessions and their reactions. The first is a post from Series Distinct 4568 titled, "I used to report myself via anonymous emails to my college, because I liked the attention I got from the campus officers who dealt with me." And the second is a post from Ghost of George Floyd titled, "I told my boss I was going home early because of a bad migraine. In reality, I accidentally pooped my pants and desperately wanted to get home and shower." Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pan so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. Oh boy, let's get ready for some confessions. Series Distinct 4568 confessed, "I used to report myself via anonymous emails to my college, because I liked the attention I got from the campus officers who dealt with me. I am a really shy, quiet and an anxious guy. I have avoidant personality disorder, which means I want above all else to connect with people. But I struggle because of my anxiety. As you can probably guess, someone like this doesn't get much attention from anyone at all. At my college there used to be a lot of members of staff called campus officers. Their job was to basically enforce the rules of the college and discipline people, etc. They would all wear these uniforms with black coats and sunglasses. It was pretty hot. I remember fancying them because they represented authority, which I find really attractive. I wasn't the sort to ever misbehave, so would never interact with these people. I wanted to, but was so shy I didn't want to get actually disciplined to do it. I ended up figuring out a different plan. I began emailing the campus officer's office anonymously. I would report myself and say I was another student, but wanted to stay anonymous. I'd say things like so-and-so is carrying weed on him, etc. As you can probably guess, this wouldn't be ignored. A campus officer would show up to class and call my name. I would leave and they'd tell me nothing. I would just follow them very submissively, but I knew I wasn't in any real trouble. I was so shy, but I loved every minute of the process. I loved the submission of being collected from class, being marched to their office, being sat down and talked to in a sort of interrogatory way. I loved that I was in their office surrounded by staff in uniforms. I liked that they'd search my bag and really enjoyed when they searched me. As someone who was a virgin and really fancied these people, it was a lot of fun to get searched by them. Haha. It was an amazing thrill. I reported myself this way multiple times during my time at the college. They never found any drugs on me, so I was never in any real trouble. After like the third time, my course manager spoke to me and explained that they thought someone might have it in for me, but it was college policy to take reports seriously. At that point I knew I could just keep doing this whenever I wanted. Sure, I got pulled out of class, but it was worth it. It was a lot of fun for me regardless. I pretended I was uncomfortable and would behave very defensive, like I had something to hide. I think how shy and passive I was added to their suspicion, to be honest. Haha. I'll admit this isn't a nasty secret, but it's definitely a secret I wouldn't share with anyone else. It makes me laugh a lot thinking back to it. Figured I'd share the story because nobody else has probably done anything like this before. What are your thoughts on Series Distinct 4568's confession? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this confession. Hot Pocket Sodomy reacted with, "Agreed, this is an actual good, largely believable confession." Bannernall followed up with, "I love his self-awareness around it too. The reasons he did it, and why the experience made him feel the way it did." Lamorade3 chimed in with, "Honestly sounds like a plot to a really cliché drama that could be real, but never actually happens. I'm glad it likely did happen for once." I Will Steal Your Cat chimed in with, "First confession, I had a lot of fun reading. Really good for you, man. Ha ha ha. It really was harmless fun on your part. Good game." Ain't No Walby reacted with, "Am I the only one who finds this wildly effed up? It's the fact that you get off on manipulating others who you're sexually attracted to touch you. It's like if a man kept going back to his lady doctor, falsely reporting suspicion of having an STD just so she'd touch his dirk in the exam. I find this creepy as F and think you should get out more. Iskander Ali followed up with, I'm with you, and I don't get how no one else thought of it the same way. The guy was clearly getting off on this, and he was setting up situations where people at their job had no choice but to comply in. They were unknowingly making this dude's day each time. Mad weird if you ask me. Passively repressed followed up with, yeah, having a kink is one thing. Subjecting others to it without their consent is a whole other. F up and wildly inappropriate thing. This isn't some innocent thrill and it's effing sad. Lamp Rabbit chimed in with, it's definitely weird and predatory. But I still enjoyed reading this confession. Maybe we are stumbling upon a fundamental flaw with this subreddit, where bad behavior is rewarded with karma. Because it's what we're specifically here to read about. Lamau. Liz27 reacted with, I would hate to see what you're like in a relationship if you're that manipulative. Vandy and Llewellyn followed up with, somehow I think he'll end up with a dom who enjoys the roleplay. Stiffy XL chimed in with, why would he do this to his partner? We all lie and cheat our way through life. Doesn't necessarily mean he would do it to his so. Maybe they are both in the game? Don't judge. Just enjoy his fetish. Shulday reacted with, so you manipulate and waste campus safety resources because you like it when they touch you. And you like how they have authority over you? Dude, get some help. This isn't cute or funny like other people think it is. You have a problem. You can't keep calling Campo on yourself because you get off on these officers physically searching you. Ugh. Gross. Jam Streamer reacted with, this is kind of sad and effed up. I think that having effed up thoughts isn't bad on itself, as long as you don't act on them. X, I have vertigo mostly because I have intrusive thoughts about letting myself fall. I can't stand being in towers and such because I have intrusive thoughts about letting myself or my belongings fall and shatter. I do not enact on them, and don't want to. So it doesn't matter that the thing I think about when being on an elevator is opening the door and letting myself fall, because I'll never do it. But you actually enacted them. You get off with displays of authority, which might lead you to bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism if you ever get sexual experience. And you falsely incriminated yourself so you could get in trouble and actually experience your fetish with unknowingly people. Pebble Penguin reacted with, this is definitely a nasty secret, up. You know, I really felt bad for you in the beginning of your post. Now I just want to get a restraining order against you in the off chance you're within a mile of me. Well, I told you this was going to be a 2-for-1 and this first one was really interesting, so let's go on to our next confession. Ghost of George Floyd confessed, I told my boss I was going home early because of a bad migraine. In reality, I accidentally pooped my pants and desperately wanted to get home and shower. I've been cursed with bubble gut for a few weeks now. While I was at work, I gambled on a fart and lost big time. I ran to the bathroom, hoping it wasn't that bad. It was that bad. Brown town in every nook and cranny of my pants. So I texted my boss that I was heading home early because of a migraine. I couldn't reveal to him what had really happened. What are your thoughts on Ghost of George Floyd's confession? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this confession. Filks85 reacted with, you had me at bubble guts. Side note, if you're ever late for work with no real excuse. I pooped my pants on the way in, I had to go home and change is gold. No one asks for proof. Sure, you will be the laughing stock for a while. But if you swagger in confidently and laugh about it, then eventually, well, no, you'll always be the guy who pooped himself, but at least you got to sleep in. Punk Metal Bastard followed up with, yeah, not only that, but you might even get sympathy. A friend of mine used this as an excuse to go home early, similar to Op's story. And his boss who usually really hard on people for calling out and leaving early simply said, "Oh, that's happened to me. Go home, change your drawers." Mount Flyer 05 chimed in with, "Not worth it. I ended up pooping my pants at work about 6 months ago. And we were behind enough that he was working while sick. So I had to tell him that I had actually pooped my pants before he let me leave. And made sure that he told the entire rest of the crew as well. 4 guys total, counting him and I. They still call me slick." Keely Kins reacted with, "I accidentally sharded while watching the first Iron Man movie in theaters. Thankfully it wasn't bad and I was able to clean up fully and didn't have to rush home. However, from then on we now refer to sharding as pulling an Iron Man. It makes it sound way cooler than it is." Coconut Shoe followed up with, "Nice, sane but on a date. Dumped my stinky stockings into the trash can and freeballed afterwards." The one and only Johnny chimed in with, "Legendary. Cool face. You're the embodiment of this sunglasses emoji." Niklorko reacted with, "Not to be a nerd, but if you've been this bad for weeks, definitely do a stool sample to check for parasites and bacteria. I work in infectious disease, and we have so many cases in which people were misdiagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome or other intestinal problems when a simple antibiotic and antiparasitic would have done the trick and saved them from months of peeing out of thetheir butt." P. Xander reacted with, "You could have just told him you poop your pants." I Am Still Alive followed up with, "Did this shamelessly at my last job and I did tell my boss. My significant other had to come bring me pants. It was that bad. Needless to say I was dismissed for the rest of the day." Angela Rose 210 reacted with, "I peed my pants at work at a call center 20 years ago and my buddy shat himself all in the same week. No big deal. It happens." J. Reindl 1 reacted with, "This just happened to me. Last Monday. At the ripe age of 32. I put my soiled underwear in the trash can. Pulled the bag out, to take to the dumpster and washed my hands. As I'm coming out both my manager and service manager are standing there, in the front office, bag in hand. I look them both in the eyes and say, 'I'm never gonna hear the end of this, but I pooped myself. I'm going home to shower and I'll be back.' A few laughs after I come back and it's business as usual. I'm lucky enough I live close to work. Gambling with farts, sometimes you win, occasionally you lose. Poop happens." JDM Cats followed up with, "Yeet. And sometimes you dream you're peeing. And it happens in real life. Oh 30s, you are magical." I Will Steal Your Cat reacted with, "Taking a risky fart and then running to the closest bathroom to see if the undies are brown. Or not and finding poop on it is every human's nightmare. You have to be slow and ease down the fart when you're letting it out to reduce the chances of soiling it." Soulstain reacted with, "My coworkers and I always joke about the level we would go to for desperation to get out of work, and pooping oneself seems to be the winner. Until we asked our GM and he reminded us about the shower on the 3rd floor. And the mop sink. We fantasized about an experience that you had no choice in. And I am sorry you actually had to deal with this situation." Tasha reacted with, "I once got a call from my former boss asking me to open for her because she pooped her pants on the way to work. Oh man. The laughter we had when she showed up later in the day. Did I mention we were servers that had to wear knee-length dresses/skirts? I will never forget that panicked phone call." And finally, Messy Fart reacted with, "I had this happen to me when I was returning to work from lunch break. It was a late lunch and only had like an hour left of the day. I told my boss I had an accident and I just went straight home. Never even got out of my car. We both laughed and that was that. Thankfully my seat was dry. But that would have been horrific to have to go back into work trying to conceal it." Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.